show. My mom is here. It's actually crazy that all my fans were able to make it tonight, so that's awesome. I've been spending way too much time on my phone lately. And, it's getting bad. I've developed what they call brain rot, like my brain is just gone. And it's so bad, there's always a delay of time when I talk to people because I have to translate what they say into TikTok audios. And it's gotten to the point that I don't even think I can read anymore because I've condensed about 90% of the dictionary into the word vibes. But that's a joke because I do read a lot. I read a lot of articles off of TikTok. And I've been spending so much time on TikTok that I started developing those neck wrinkles known as tech neck. And at first I was concerned, but then I realized it's actually my best chance of becoming a model. Because with all this body positivity, we've pretty much covered everything else. The neck is pretty much the only part of the body we haven't celebrated. And, I also think another reason that you shouldn't be insecure about tech neck is that it's really kind of relates back to nature, human life reflecting nature. It's kind of like how when you chop down a tree, you can see how old it is when you look at all the lines on the stump. Same thing with tech neck. Every line is 10,000 hours on TikTok. It's beautiful. It is kind of funny because, if tech neck did become the next body positivity, it's funny to think about what the taglines would be because with current body positivity, the past movements, it's, you love your body, you only have one, you can't eat beauty, every body is beautiful. So I feel like for tech neck, it'd be tech necklines so fine, don't seize the crease, embrace the space, lots to look forward to. I think I'm a lot stranger than I look. I feel like my personality and my looks are kind of at odds. I think I'm sorority girl passing, but the personality is closer to the 5'6" tech guy they rejected sophomore year. And, I think a lot of it is because I grew up pretty unattractive, super out of shape. And to fix that problem, I decided to join the track team. And I was so out of shape that on race day, the coach comes up to me and she had to pull me from the race because she didn't want me to get hurt running the race. Do you realize how out of shape you have to be for the public system to care? But, and growing up, when you're unattractive growing up, you think, oh my gosh, my life sucks. Everyone thinks I'm ugly. But retrospectively, I realized that being unattractive growing up was actually the best thing ever. Because when you're unattractive, you can get away with anything. Nobody thinks you're doing anything malicious. There was this one time, so I was 12, and I got my mom to take me to a G-Eazy concert. Do you guys know who that is? Okay, well, I can't even recite the lyrics because they're that bad. You would have to leave if I recited the lyrics. Anyway, so my mom and I are dressed in a sweater and jeans to go to this G-Eazy concert, and it opens with another man known as ASAP Ferg, and he comes out with a bottle of champagne, and this is the opening act, and he just starts, again, I don't want to get too graphic, but he starts, doing a little bit of a demonstration onto the audience with this bottle of champagne. And that's just the kind of stuff you don't get to do if you're an attractive kid. Because if you're an attractive kid, your parents would be like, oh, G-Eazy, that's suspicious, not happening. But when you're unattractive, you can do whatever you want. Thank you guys, that's a work in progress bit. Thank you. Okay, so I was recently watching some jiu-jitsu. And what I found really interesting is that there were 9 different weight categories. Okay, the weight category that weighed the least was called light as feather. Weight category that weighed the most was called ultra heavy. 1, I feel like that's not politically correct. 2, it really got me thinking, I wonder if a 100-pound light feather person weighs as much as 100 pounds of bricks. Yeah, you guys get it? Okay, cool. But jiu-jitsu is pretty interesting. It's really taken off. I honestly think it's really concerning that so many people are getting into choking. But jiu-jitsu is one of those things, I think it looks a lot cooler than it is, or maybe it's just my experience, because I decided to give it a try. I went to a class, and my 2 options for choking partners were 16-year-old boy, 65-year-old man. It's do I have to be a creep, or can I let someone else do that? I went with the older guy because I'm not a creep. Luckily, that's good to not be a creep. And in his defense, there's nothing he can really do right. He chokes me with a straight face. He's a psychopath. Chokes me with a smile. He's a pervert. Either way, I'm worried with too much force, I might actually break his bones. Just not a good situation. But another really interesting thing about jiu-jitsu is kind of the origin. So it started off in Japan as an easier way for samurai to street fight without all the armor. Japan brought it to Brazil, Brazil brought it to the US, and now Mark Zuckerberg has been training to bring it to robots. And, on the topic of robots, I kind of wonder what the beauty standard for robots is going to look like, because I've started seeing some different bots, right? We got our Roombas, the food delivery bots, the ones that look like humans. I feel like the ones that look like humans are going to be considered the least attractive, because we're kind of like the old species at that point, we're the uglies. But the food delivery bot or the Roomba, which is more attractive? Is a Roomba 10 out of 10 in the robot community, or is it the food delivery bot? I guess we'll just have to find out. I'll leave on, so a lot of my friends have gotten really into anti-aging. I think it's really sad to just live your life trying to prevent what's inevitable. That's why I've gotten more into reverse aging, because it's much more proactive. But I don't really like all the healthy stuff, like the red light, clean eating, going outside. So I got a pacifier. I've started ordering the kids' meal at McDonald's. I've just been eating chewed up vegetables. Really just trying to revert back to infancy. Because the goal isn't to have older men think I'm more attractive. It's actually just to have people care about me again.